What's up, y'all? It's Vanessa Sujey, and I am back with another episode of Gather and Heal, the podcast. And on today's episode, I'm going to be having a dope-ass conversation with my bestie, okay? So if you ever hear me say, oh, my sister, my bestie, this is what I'm talking about, y'all. This is it. This is Valerie. And so today we're going to talk a little bit about culture, fitness, and business. All right. So I know you're probably thinking like, oh my goodness, Vanessa, that's a whole lot. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that because we got it through and we got it flowing. It's gonna flow. I was thinking about it too, right before we started, Valerie. I was thinking that I feel so blessed because all of my first few interviews are gonna be with friends, right? And we share a lot of friends, so they're our friends. And with each person, we run down a whole list. Like, oh, what are we gonna talk about? And it's like just mad things. Yeah. And for me, I'm just like, yes, I've got some dope ass people in my circle. That's what that feels like. So thank you.
No, thank you. It's nice to have, I would say, culturally diverse friends because there's so much to learn, so many different perspectives. Yeah. And I think that really helps us grow and be more, I guess, nurturing and empathetic to other people, to everyone.
Mm-hmm. And just so knowledgeable too on so many different things. And if I'm confused about something, I've got people to call.
Right. They're like your resources.
Yes.
Your resources. What's that TV game where you get a line, you can call someone?
Phone a friend. Millionaire.
Yes.
I'll be millionaires. That's what it is.
So you have a phone line, you have a friend to call. You just have so many resources and it's beautiful.
It is so good. I love it so much.
Yeah, me too.
So I don't like to read people's bios. I feel like I zone out halfway reading through them. Never mind people listening. I know that y'all done zoned out. So Valerie, why don't you start us off and just let us know who you are, who your people are, and just a little bit about your journey to the arrival of where you're at right now. And then we'll jump into the flow of everything else.
Yes. So I am a mom of 3, military wife, married 13 years.
Stop it.
I think it is. No, maybe it's less than that. I might be wrong. My kids.
Alex, I hope you ain't listening. Can't remember.
Have kids, 6, 4, and 2.
Woo.
Very energetic. I did my high school and bachelor's in Dominican Republic. Moved here in 2010. Didn't know what I was doing with my life.
Wait, what was your bachelor's in?
I was in business. So it was business administration. And I started out in engineering, in civil engineering, changed to business, which in our culture was a big no-no. Like I was, business isn't a career. You should have stayed in engineering. Anyway, that's a whole nother story. I came here in 2010. I was trying to figure life out, met Alex. We moved in together, completed my master's. While I was finishing my master's, I also went to personal training school. So within like 4 months, I finished my master's, went to personal training school, got married, and got pregnant. All within the same year, all in 2015. So it was an intense year for me. Since then, we've grown our family, we've grown financially, we've grown our assets. He's grown in his career in the military, and now I've been growing on more of the business side, but also growing and just learning about being a mom. I feel like it's just an ongoing learning process. So never done.
Yes, it is.
Oh my God, it's overwhelming sometimes. But yeah, being a mom, being a business owner, managing our assets, our investments, our home, and just, getting it through one day at a time, basically.
That part.
Yeah. One day at a time.
When we talk about resources, y'all, I call Valerie all the time. I'm like, yo, I remember when my son had his first fever. I was like, what do I do? What's too much? Who do I call? She's like, girl, call the PCP. I was like, it's after hours. Oh, they got a nurse. I was like, oh. So many things. That's the benefit of having a bestie who had kids before you.
Yeah.
We do hand-me-downs. We trade the clothes. Oh, we don't even trade kids' clothes. Y'all, I used to go through her closet.
We got pictures.
All the time.
I still have pictures. Good times.
Yes. Oh, yes. The saddest thing though was that we have different shoe sizes. So I couldn't take the hand-me-down shoes. Makes me a little sad.
That's right. But we don't wear heels like we did before, so it don't matter.
Please. Man, I got some flip-flops on right now. Okay.
Crocs.
Yes. And I used to make so much fun of Crocs. Now I got them all decorated with little dinosaurs and fairies.
Well, I won't take them out the house, but
oh,
I wear them in the house.
Oh, I got one pair in the house. They're these really fluffy white ones. And then I got one pair that goes outside. Oh, yes, I wear Crocs in public.
Oh, we might have to talk about that later.
Okay. So not only did you tell us a little bit about like 2015 being a really big year, super pivotal on so many levels, personal and professional.
Right.
But also you talked a little bit about having graduated high school and undergrad in the Dominican Republic. So why don't we start there a little bit and talk about going to high school and college in the Dominican Republic? Oh. We actually met in high school here in the US, right? Mm-hmm. So let's just catch people up a little bit on your DR to Boston, back to DR, back to Boston.
Well, that was you, because you went to visit every summer. I lived there for 8 years. I completed high school there because I finished my freshman year here. I did high school and college there. And it was amazing. I mean, I could have never imagined living the life that I lived, like the way I did at that time. High school, I met some of my closest friends that I still speak to today. Some of my closest friends in DR, and then went to college there and continued to meet some really amazing close friends. High school and college in DR is nothing like high school and college here. Obviously, the culture, a lifestyle is different. Like when I tell you that if I tell you I lived in a pet house with 2 maids who one did the laundry and clean, and the other one cooked for us. And when I got home from school, I had like warm lunch that we would eat on the balcony every day.
Beautiful, y'all. It was beautiful.
We had a chauffeur that would drive us to and from school. My friends had chauffeurs. So if I went to her house and I got drunk, he would drive me home. I didn't have to call my parents or anything. The lifestyle was just, I remember one of my most vivid memories in college was doing homework till like 1 or 2 a.m. and my friends texting me, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna meet up with you right now. Finish my homework at 2 a.m. and going out to meet them at a drink. What we call it a drink is like a liquor store, because in DR you can, hang out in front of liquor stores or whatever. What do they call it here?
Like gas stations.
Yeah, our gas station. And I would be like, all right, I'll be there in a second. And I would finish my homework at 2 a.m. and go meet them, because things would close at 4, 6 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
And you could drink at whatever time. And
why not, y'all? Because why not?
Right. And the clubs were open till like 4. And then, New Year's Eve, we would go to the club till 4, 6 in the morning. And then we'd go to the beach to see the sunrise. And it was beautiful. I think that helps me really have a different appreciation and love for my culture that I didn't have when I lived here, and that I didn't understand. And I just loved it. And, you always get that, oh, I can tell you're American. And I just had to own it. Yeah, I have an accent and I just owned it.
Yeah.
But because I was at a bilingual high school, all of my friends spoke English. And we had friends that were from Jersey, from New York, from Philly, from Florida. So from all over the place. And we could all relate.
Yeah.
So it was just a nice, beautiful experience. I actually would love my kids to go to DR and go to school and just live a different life. There's just more freedom.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's wonderful. If you haven't experienced it, you gotta experience it.
I got mini doses when I used to go every summer.
You did, but you know what? When I used to visit myself, it's just not the same.
I believe it.
Oh my God, it's different. I loved it. I mean, there's so much. We could speak hours on Dominican culture and what it's like growing up there as a teenager and then as an adolescent.
So different. And I'm sure too, as you think about, I would love for my kids to grow up there too, then that's a whole different perspective, because you'd be going there and raising children as a mom, which is different, a whole different layer.
Right. Completely different.
So different. But tell us a little bit about how, as you transition between American culture and Dominican culture, talk to me about food, right? So then that'll start taking us into a little bit around fitness and why you have your certifications and so on and so forth.
So, before we started this podcast or recording, one of the things that I thought about was when I was growing up and I would go to DR, or even just being here with my parents, I was chubby. I was a chubby little girl. I was my face was super round. I was just all around chubby. And my own family would call me things like vaquita, which little cow. Or I would be denied food because I was too fat. And obviously those things hurt because I still remember them. And I mean, I remember this one particular situation where I was denied a piece of candy while all the other kids got candy because I was too fat. And I was maybe 6, 7 years old. I was a kid. And then living here and, once or twice a week, we would order out food. My parents still cooked, Dominican meals and things like that. We had a lot of cereal at home, a lot of juice, a lot of things. But we were all overweight. We were all overweight. When we went to DR, it was different. We had more structure because we had someone cooking for us. So we would wake up and we had breakfast. We would go to school, have a snack, have our lunch at school, and then we would come home to fresh meal, and then something else before bed. So we had more structure, and the foods were more fresh, right? It wasn't. I don't remember us ordering out unless we had pizza, but we would go to restaurants. But it was all home cooked meals, and it was more structured. And we also walked a lot. I mean, it's a Caribbean country. We did a lot of walking, a lot of dancing and partying. So that also contributed.
That counts. Exercise counts. Dancing.
To the beach, walking. We did a lot of that. So we weren't overweight. But then I remember at one point in DR, I decided to do some diet. And I remember just eating lettuce and crackers at at one point.
Is you a rabbit girl? What?
Thing. And I was always into exercise. I had a Pilates video that I would do before I would go to college in the morning. And I liked walking. I even tried to go to the gym with one of my best friends at that time. And we went maybe like 3 times. So I was always like, there was some type of interest in it. I just couldn't find a way to be consistent. I remember walking from one of our apartments to the gym at a country club we had a membership to. So there was something about it that always made me feel good.
Can I ask you, like, so there's obviously, like you're saying, there were hints of it. Now that you're looking back,
right.
like, oh, this has really always been present in my life, just not as amplified as it is now.
Right.
What do you think was kind of like getting in the way back then? Why didn't you go to the gym more than those 3 times? Or why didn't you explore other eating patterns aside from a rabbit's diet, like those sorts of things?
I just felt like no one around me was doing it, right? I didn't have that influence or that support from my parents or family members where they were like, oh, you know, when you have someone you can relate to or that can like keep motivating you to continue or say like, let me join you, let's do it together. It's different, right?
Yeah.
But I didn't have that. I was still pretty much a kid. Like, I still think that 18, 19, I was still a kid.
Your brain is not fully developed. Yes, we are still children.
Still a kid. And so I didn't like have anyone that would say like, oh my God, great job, Valerie, keep doing it. That's great. Or anyone that could relate and say, yeah, I do my exercise in the morning as well. So it was just something that I enjoyed doing, but no one else around me was doing it. However, my brother had a friend who was into bodybuilding. And at that time, I didn't know what that was. But he wanted to be a doctor. His mom was a doctor, or his parents were. He was very smart, and he like had on his diets. He would work out, super muscular kid at 17, 18. Like this kid knew what he was doing. And my brother was going with him, but I didn't have that, you know, none of my friends were doing it. So I think it made it really hard. Where it really kind of came back full circle for me, and I felt like, wow, was when I met Alex. So he was waking up when we first started dating. We moved in. He was waking up at 4:35 in the morning to go work out, and I was like, oh no, I could never.
Oh, that's early.
Could never do that. But he had an hour, like over an hour drive to work. And he would go to the gym and all that. And I was like, I could never do that. And around that time, I was
just hold on a second. Just so y'all know, the whole I could never do that, it's a lie, y'all. It's a lie. Because I'm now the one saying to her, literally, we had the conversation just a few days ago where I was like, I really gotta get up. How do you do it? Times have changed.
They have changed. And that's why, you know, I also wrote a post, like I was also there where in that place where I always said I could never wake up at that time until I realized that was if I really wanted to get serious about my health and do everything I have to do during the day, plus take care of my kids and the house and do laundry. That was the only time I had for me. And I could still structure my schedule where I got 7-8 hours of sleep. But it was either that or try to figure something else out. I'm working full time. Like I made that decision and I just stuck with it, right? And so during that time where I told him, oh, hell no, I'm not doing that. A friend had showed me a picture of when we went out and I was like, delete it right now. I swear I was like, I had a black and white dress on and I was like, oh, now I look like a cow. That picture got deleted.
Oh no.
And I got P90X and I was doing P90X for like 3 months or something. I lost a couple pounds. But then I was like, okay, what's next? Because I've done like 2 cycles of this. I'm bored, but I feel like I need to evolve. So I went to we lived in a community, so it had a community gym. And I
Mhm.
went and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Oh, that part.
I don't know if I'm pulling this machine right. I don't know what I'm doing.
Let me find out. You're one of those memes where they're using the machine all wrong.
All wrong. I was like, I didn't know what muscles I had no idea. And so for some reason, I feel like the world works in mysterious ways. Alex decided to go to school for personal training. And I was like, So after he finished school, I was like, now I'm gonna go.
My turn.
My turn. And the nice thing is that through the military and he has GI Bill benefits, it paid completely for our course. It was very expensive. And actually, I told my employer, like, either I work part-time or I leave. So I could go to school because that's how bad I wanted it. And they were like, okay, no, we'll keep you part-time. I was like, okay,
right.
Great.
Valuable. You can't do this without me, y'all. That's what they said.
I was scared because I didn't have a backup plan. I was like, either they're going to say yes, that they can keep me on part-time, or I'm going to lose my job.
We're going to figure it out. But you didn't have to, so we good.
Yeah, so it worked out great. I went to school and finished my master's, went to school, joined a group to do a bikini competition. And I was like, oh, I love this. I want to do this. So I started my first fitness challenge on Instagram, where I only had like 10 followers. Maybe a little more, maybe 50. And to my surprise, I had like 5 people sign up.
Yes.
And I said, oh my God, this is amazing. But, then I was dealing with postpartum depression and just a cascade of issues. And then I was pregnant again. And then I was trying to get through postpartum depression again and snap back. And then I was pregnant again. So I was pregnant back to back for like 5 years. And it was really hard because each time I found stability, I had to it was just start all over again, right? You have another kid in the picture, and now it's finances, now it's time, so there were just so many things that changed every time I had another kid.
Kids, y'all. I hope they listen in the future and realize we loved you. We love you.
We do. We love you. Everything changed to the point where we had to move because now we were 5 people in a 2-bedroom. The kids had no space. We were in a townhouse in between 2 couples that had no kids. So they hated us. My kids didn't have their own backyard. So anyway, we had to move. So just that, up and down, I wasn't able to find stability at any time to really focus and move forward with my fitness business or journey. Like, this is the first time, I think 2021 is the first time in 6 years that I could say that I was found some stability, maybe the end of 2021 when like all my kids were in school and everyone had a structured schedule.
Right.
So thanks, COVID. Since mid 2021 is the first time I felt some type of stability.
Yeah.
Right now I'm like, okay, I'm a mom. This is my kid's schedule. This is my schedule, my husband's, my finances. These are my goals. No major life-altering events are going to happen because we are not having any more kids.
No more kids.
I'm done. No pets, no kids. I'm done. It's because it's not easy, right?
It's not even like, sometimes it's not even easy to make that decision, right? To admit and say out loud this piece around, I was pregnant over the course of like 5 years, right? And with, like you said, with each kid, there's a whole different shift. And as moms, our priorities are constantly shifting and thinking about, okay, where do I go in this? Well, when you're carrying a human, the priority is that little human and how you're nourishing and taking care of yourself and so on and so forth. So I appreciate you saying that, and confidently too, and saying like, no more large life changes. And it's okay. It's okay to make that decision. It's okay to say I only want one kid. It's okay to say I don't want any kids.
Right.
It's okay to say I'm good with creating my own business or not. Right. Like we all have our own permissions, but whichever route that we go or however we land on it is that piece where like our self energy has to come through and be like, no, I'm clear on this decision.
Yes.
And it feels good, which is why it sounds confident when you're saying it.
Yes. There were so many things we had to get confident on, like you said, like really putting our foot down with family, telling us how to raise our kids and saying no, like drawing a line and saying, no, this is my husband and I are going to make the decision. And if we want your input, we may approach you, but do not. And just like there was, and you know what? There's so much freedom in that when you can be so confident in your decision.
Yes.
At that point, there's nothing and no one that can disturb your peace.
Whoa.
So
nothing and no one that can disturb your peace. Hello.
It's amazing. So I am, and I don't want anyone to think that I'm saying that having 3 kids is an excuse to put anything off, but I was going through so many different situations that it was, for me, mentally and physically, it wasn't the right time. Now, mind you, at the end of 2018, I was laid off from my full-time job. So I had 2 daughters at that time. And my mother was working with a lawyer, going around trying to figure out how to open a mental health clinic. And I said, oh, well, I'll sit in that conversation. I'm not doing anything.
Why not?
But mind you, I felt like that was my opportunity to open my business. But I went to this meeting and I was like, Mom, he does not know what he's doing. I need you to call any of the social workers that you know and clinics you've worked with and ask them to give you a contact at the Department of Public Health. Did that. Girl, from that point on, it was just a snowball effect. So somehow
she got sucked in, y'all. She got sucked into the family business.
Yeah, I got sucked in, and I ended up filling out all the paperwork to open the clinic, all of the licenses, all of the documents, all of the operations, payroll, onboarding, human resources. I literally like just got sucked into this business since the end of 2018 and all through 2020. And then the pandemic happened, so there wasn't much. And I had just had my baby boy. And so again, my fitness business was on hold because now I was managing an entire company, which was now the family business. And now it's like, okay, when do I head out and focus on my thing without feeling like I'm letting anyone down?
Ooh. Can we pause right there for that part? Right? Because I know that we've had a lot of conversations around when you thought you'd make an exit, but you didn't, and you'd go back and forth, or you'd try to grow your business as well, like at the same time.
Yeah.
But again, priorities, they shift, and we try to do the best that we can with what we've got. And I know, like I'm saying it and I can feel it because I can remember always feeling it right in my chest, because I know how much you wanted to open your fitness business.
Right.
One time, you wanted to open a gym for people and so on and so forth. So can you tell us a little bit about like, what's it been like for you more recently in saying, hold on, I got to do my business. It's my turn.
Right. It just feels like I'm always working to help other people like excel or whatever. And then I put my dreams, my projects on pause. Because I'm not a mediocre person. So I have to give like that 110% in anything. And sometimes at the end of the day, I'm like, oh, well, that sucked. What about me? Like completely forgot about myself. And that's what it felt like in this business. Like I just got so sucked in, and I made my family successful, running $1 million business. But what about mine? So now it's like, how do I take the maybe 25% of energy I have, because I have to use the other 75% for that business,
right,
to get mine up and running? And listen, I have conversations with my husband. I'm like, I saw this space over there. I could open it. All these clients. You should have seen us do victory dances in here every time I had a client sign up.
Yes.
Like, I want to continue to feeling that. And don't get me wrong, it's not that I'm not excited as the family business grows, but I don't feel like, I don't feel like it's not my field, right? Because mental health is not my field. So being in it for this long, I am very knowledgeable. Like, you can talk to me about anything in the mental health field, diagnoses, patients, billing, whatever you want, but that's not what lights my little fire, right?
Right.
So, but catch me in the hallway and ask me about something about fitness and nutrition, and you have my attention for as long as you want, right?
Yeah.
You have my attention for this, because that's really what motivates me, what I'm passionate about. Like being able to directly help people and see them make these life changes and see them happy and excited. And it's just different when you're kind of working behind the scenes and making a company run, whereas you're in the front seat and really making that one-on-one connection and that change with your clients, right? So it's been difficult. There's those days, those reels and TikToks where it's like, I don't know, but today I'm about to quit my job. But that's how I feel sometimes. Like, what if I just drop all of this and go? But then there's that pressure where it's like, okay, so am I failing my family now if I do this? Or the fact that I know they ain't gonna get too far. They won't get too far without me, or I'll really have to like bring in additional resources to me. So it's been a difficult process. It's a process that's kind of in the works. So I'm trying to run both parallel. And the nice thing is that I enjoy podcasts, and I will join any free mastermind out there.
Let's go.
And there was one that said, leverage your contacts. You don't have to go find new clients. Leverage your contacts. Speak to the people you know.
She did, y'all. I signed up for her year program. Okay. She leveraged her contacts.
Yes. And so what I did, I said, wait, our clinic has registered over 5,000 people in our system.
Oh.
Like, I have a whole community at my fingertips.
Right there.
So I'm actually going to start fitness and nutrition groups through the clinic. And that way I can start getting known in the community. I go. Clients, so leveraging my contacts. So I think I'm going to slowly but surely manage these both at the same time until hopefully there's a point where it's like, okay, I can't do both.
Yeah.
But I really need to move into what I'm most passionate about.
Yes.
Because I feel like at the end of the day, everyone should be able to
do passion.
Yeah.
Feel that passion. And that's exactly what I was going to ask you. So like, where in your body or like around your body do you feel that passion? Like, how do you know I'm super passionate about this and not so much about this? How do you know? How does your body tell you?
Oh my God. I think like I feel like excited. I light up, my heart's racing. I will, like, it's just one of these things where you'll stay up late for this, but you won't stay up late for that. Or you'll answer this email at 7 a.m. for this, but not for that other stuff. Like your emotions are so like tied into your passion that you're just excited about everything that has to do with it, that even if you have free time, your free time will be to tend to those little things.
Mm-hmm.
While the things that I'm not excited about, I'm like, nah, that can wait. Don't bother me with that, please. It gives me a headache.
That's so true, because I just said to my partner the other day, I was like, oh, okay, like you got to go pick up the baby from school because I have a training. He's like, you always got a training. And I was like, listen, bro. I was like, trainings and learning make me really, really excited, especially about these particular things that I'm in classes for. The same way that you going to play soccer in the evenings or on the weekends make you feel alive and really excited.
Right.
He was like, oh. I was like, it's a little different, but it's the same thing. At the foundation, we're both passionate about each of these things.
Right.
And that's how we show up. And that's exactly what I'm hearing from you too. So,
right.
Like the three kind of pillars, or 3.5, I'm going to start saying, of Gather and Heal is really making sure that we have this connection between what's happening in my mind, my body, my behaviors, and my emotions. So that way we can really pay attention to what's happening. Is this thing that I'm doing, that I'm thinking about so much, so on and so forth, is it really fueling me?
Right.
Or not? And how do I gear myself to do more of the things that fuel me and that get me excited and, are clear in this is why I'm doing it. And my body's ready to wake up at 7 a.m. to send that email. Right. Or, for you did your workout and so on and so forth. And then at 7 a.m. But I love it. I love it. And we have to, the more that we connect in with our bodies about why we enjoy something or why we don't enjoy something, because they're both equally as important.
Right.
We can really feel it and it can really settle into us. Right. And then we'll keep repeating and doing more of those things.
Right. Well, it's even like the mood coming home, right? Because I can come home from the office and I'm like, I can't believe this. And just, venting
everybody out.
Venting like a crazy person. And then, but when it comes to my fitness stuff, I'm like, oh my God, my client just reached their goal. Or even if I speak about another client that isn't doing so well, it still feels kind of, I guess, positive, like hopeful. And because I just enjoy it. So you also kind of bring that home when you're just passionate about something. You come home and you just feel, you vibe differently. You feel different. I even share like fitness with my kids. I make sure that I work out so they see me working out.
Yeah.
They saw their dad running the other day. They're like, Dad, you're running? And we all applauded him. It was so funny. Like the foods that they eat, the foods they see us eating. So it's just so much passion that it just oozes out of you in every aspect of life, right?
Yeah.
That's when I'm like, okay, I found my shit.
There it is.
Right.
Oh, so I love how you've been able to kind of like reflect back on your own life and your own experiences that bring you to this place, bring you to this point of saying, hey, this has been something that's actually been important to me throughout my life. But for me, not because people were making comments about my weight or what I was eating and so on. It was for you. Yeah. And from there, really navigating life in a way as best you can to take care of others and yourself. And now it's your turn. It's your turn to lean into your business, to leverage those contacts that you've got while also still in a way showing up for family, right? And coming through for the business and so on. And then, of course, y'all already know how important it is to me to say for our future generations, right? Them little ones, oh my goodness. I love watching them work out with you. My little man comes in sometimes too, and he's like trying to do the row and everything. And I'm like, let's go, baby. Oh, so any last thoughts or anything that you want to share before we pause here?
I think the only other thing I want to share is, you know, I'm blessed to have lived in both cultures and seeing how fitness and health have evolved in both cultures, or how they have affected my family members that have lived there or here, has been really helpful for me to decide, you know, what my niche audience is, who I want to help, and which is really like Latinos, Latinas, people of color that feel like they have to detach from their culture to be happy or to be healthy or to eat right or exercise somehow. And that's so far from the truth. Like I've seen my family members, my parents, grandparents eating like flaxseed or chia seed. We ain't never seen that in Dominican Republic. Let me tell you that. You have to go to Whole Foods to buy that. You do not need that to lose weight. Like, and it tastes disgusting.
Big facts.
So, like, all of this thought that your own cultural foods are the cause of your obesity or your health or lack thereof is so far from the truth. And that's one of the things that I want to make sure people understand, that they learn or that they unlearn these false.
All this bullshit.
Oh my God.
All the bullshit.
Yes.
And, you know, for people who are listening and or watching us, I will have contacts for Valerie in the show notes, so that way they can connect with you, because that's deep. That is not something to be overlooked. Is that I want to be able to eat my rice and beans as a part of my meal planning and not sub it out for nobody's damn lettuce or crackers. Like, it's just not happening.
Right. Or
so whatever your cultural foods are,
enjoy
keep them in your meals.
Right.
And increasing our awareness around that is huge. So I love that you do that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. All right, y'all. So thank you so much for coming through and listening / watching another episode. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. And as always, I hope you have nothing short of a beautiful fucking day. Peace, y'all.